Then I make a motion that we do the professional services agreement with Triad, to start the process, to see what grants we qualify
For a $3,200 fee.
for $3,200 fee.
I second that.
All in favor? There you go.
Just need signatures on both, you keep one for yourselves, and I'll take the other back with me. It's a date, final. So this sheet here, the state revolving loan process.
I had a few comments last week about people like the idea of not building when building's not necessary, and a lot of people think we're overbuilding and in the past, and destroying some property that ought to be utilized, and I like that idea.
The state revolving loan process starts with an application. Application only, that's just to get your name, put the town of Odon's name in on their list. It'll be unranked. Next thing what would happen is that you'll get a meeting, a preliminary meeting with them, with their staff. They'll spell out all the parameters of this process, of this report, what they're in charge of, what you have to do, what your engineer would do. After that's done, then you commence services. We would start a PER, and we would get the report in to turn into them for review, and then you're scored. And meaning that if you're in the fundable range, and they have a quarter, I think it's July every year, they start the new fiscal year and they get in so much money. While they've had some discretionary money now here within the last 4 years, have been able to pool together money for both on the water side and the wastewater side. They don't do stormwater. They have grant monies, and as I think I alluded to the last meeting, Edwardsport was one of the recipients, and we got them $2,050,000 for a $2.4 million project. That was her wastewater, so it was handy. And we go through this process, and let's say if it doesn't meet your terms, your goals, then you don't have to close on a loan. If we realize that there's not going to be some grant money, or you can't get some more additional through Okra, then you simply just, it's done, it's gone, okay? So what we're willing to do is start this process on the PER, the preliminary engineering report. Again, we will carry these costs until the funding is realized that you have it. So it's the only way to do business.
Now, we're not quite required to do anything on a competitive basis at this point, right?
No, only where you would do procurement is for your planning grant. Once we find that you qualify for grants, you go through this process that you've already signed that agreement for, then you get with your grant administrator, and then they'll do that process where they send out the request for qualification.
Fantastic.
So with that, I've got one of these, and then I brought the same thing, pretty much standard. What we're saying, what we're going to do. We'll attend that meeting with you folks. They may come down here, they may do a conference call. Either way, if they did a conference call, we would have one of our reps, myself or Jim would be here with you, and then we would be talking in our office or at their office back in Indianapolis. And we'll do the report, and we'll try and get you guys in line. If they say, hey, we may be able to get some grant monies in, then they're going to ask for plans and specs, and we'll just
And we don't have to pay this until we get money in.
exactly right. It says that in there, I believe, the
Okay.
last paragraph on there. So,
Yeah.
I like that.
the only thing I will need, and this is what the application looks like, okay, and this is for wastewater. It'll ask the generic questions, information, your town rates, I think it's your voting precincts as far as whoever your state representative districts are. Current user rate for 4,000 gallons. Some of it's guesstimation, because you're just coming in here. We don't know exactly until we determine project-wise what it is and come up with a preliminary rate.
We're just below
Oh,
what
we don't
OPRA
have a
standards are.
Okay.
We're just below it for the wastewater.
Okay. So we'll throw in numbers, what we think as we move along, we determine what that project will be. You'll see a number in here, and I'll show this to you before we turn this into it. It'll ask for non-construction costs, it'll ask for the construction costs. Throw in as much money as you want down in there. It doesn't matter because it doesn't, until you close on the loan and then you actually get what you need. And it's a drawdown as you go, what you need it for. And then if we know that we get grant monies, okay, then they'll change. But this is just to get you started. And there's a signature page here for the application. What I would do, if I could, because I'm probably gonna have to call back, you know, for some info if I don't have it. Some of it asks for your information as well as being local counsel, and your grant administrator. So if we could sign this, I can fill in the blanks tomorrow, the rest of this week, give you guys a copy so you guys can see this before I turn it in. Okay? Or we can just wait all together. I can get information from you, send it down to you, fax back or email back. It's your choice. Either way, you have to see it before we turn it in. And it's just an application.
I guess,
Very preliminary.
the only thing kind of concerns me is you said this is all preliminary and stuff, I know. But the fellow here last month, I forget his name, Jim, said it gets to a point then where even the engineering outfits will be a bid process.
No, that would, well,
I guess my point is, you're doing all this stuff for us now, what if you don't get the final engineer thing, what I'm saying?
well, we're hoping we do that.
I know, but I mean, that's not 100% been decided yet, right? If we have a bidding process, the way he talks on that engineers,
I think he may have been talking about the planning grant portion from Okra. This is here, you do not have to bid for the service.
well, I understand that, but
The planning grant, yes, you can choose whomever you like, you can interview firms if you want, you have more than one, you don't, or you have to interview three of these three firms.
But on this, we owe them that money anyway, as soon as we got a grant. So they're gonna get that in.
Fee $25,000.
And that's usually standard for PDR. They used to give grants for that a long time ago, late 80s, all through the 90s. And it was normally $25,000 that you didn't have to pay back, and that's a normal standard fee. Because it's all encompassing, it tells you exactly what's going into the project.
well, we need to vote on this, we did the other, we haven't this one yet.
I make a motion, we go ahead, it doesn't cost us anything until you get a grant. If you don't get the grant, you know, it's basically for naught, so I see no reason not to approve it. So I'll make the motion.
Well, if we don't get the grant, they're still gonna expect payment, ain't you?
No.
No, this, if we don't see what you guys need, your needs as far as enough grant dollars, because they're gonna ask for so many things so quickly, it's gonna happen fast. They want you to have plans and specs and everything done in 6 months for you to get grant money. If the terms aren't favorable, your rates aren't favorable, then it goes away.
Yeah.
We've been through this before.
By favorable, you mean competitive or?
That's palpable to yours.
Yeah, favorable is, depending on how you look at it, who's looking at it.
That's right. Okra has different thresholds. SRF will have it if they're going to give you discretionary grant money. They want your rates are going to have to be up.
And when I met, actually after attending that Okra seminar, I asked her to swing by. She did, and actually John just happened to be here, and we met with her, and she said the benchmark for the wastewater was $30, and we're currently at $28.80, so she did recommend that, right, am I correct, that she recommended that you guys vote to increase it to
$30.
at least,
But that's the benchmark.
and she
And that's
also,
for Okra grant.
That's
for
Okra.
grant money.